Hi everyone, thanks so much for tuning into this video. I am Jay Theo and today I'm discussing 10 interesting and concerning facts about the Black LGBTQ community. So I really wanted to make this video to shed some light on some issues and some concerns about our community, but also to kind of offer some insight and some interesting facts to learn a little bit more about the Black LGBTQ community. So where this video idea came from was that I was actually doing some research for another YouTube video and I came across this amazing study that was conducted by the UCLA School of Law. Shout out to the Williams Institute. It was super interesting study that broke down demographic information about the Black LGBTQ community, and it also broke down information from 4 key umbrellas that encompass well-being, mental and physical health, economic health, and social and cultural experiences that we experience in the Black LGBTQ community. So I really want this video to start some conversation, shed light on some issues, and just the opportunity for us to learn more about our Black LGBTQ community. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and dive right into this video and let's go ahead and start this discussion regarding the Black LGBTQ community. Okay guys, so before we dive into all the facts, I do just want to say that all the information we'll discuss in this video will be regarding adult Americans that identify as Black LGBTQ. So first off, how many Black LGBTQ Americans even live in the United States? So based on the study, 1.2 million Black LGBTQ adult Americans live in the United States. Just to give you a frame of reference, there's 331 million Americans total in the United States. 258 million of them are adults, and about 11.3 million of them identify as LGBTQ. So of that 11.3 million, 1.2 million of LGBTQ adults identify as Black. So just to give you guys a framework. 40% though of LGBTQ adult Americans do identify as people of color. So that is the first fact. So 1.2 million doesn't seem like a lot of people, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, but that's who self-identifies. As we know, there's a huge closeted community in the Black LGBTQ community. So keep that in mind when we're speaking to some of these numbers, that a lot of this might be skewed because people are not self-identifying that they are LGBTQ. So please keep that in mind. So on to the next fact. Of those 1.2 million adults, how many are women and how many are men? So according to the study, of the 1.2 million Black Americans that identify as LGBTQ, 61% identify as women and 39% identifies as men. So even in the straight Black community, there's a majority women with regard to men, but it's more 55-45, where this is more 61-39. So obviously, yet again, I think this number is skewed a little heavier in the LGBTQ realm because historically we know that it's harder for Black men to be accepted in the LGBTQ realm in the Black community than it is for Black women. Overall, I know that Black women and Black men have to deal with homophobia in the Black community when it comes to being LGBTQ. There definitely is a double standard when it comes to being a woman and being LGBTQ and being a man and being LGBTQ. So I think that definitely has a number of skews because yet again, this is for who self-identifies as LGBTQ. So, I mean, just to give you guys a sense of framework, I mean, still that just showcases there's a lot of work that needs to be done for men to feel like they can self-identify as LGBTQ. So on to the next fact that I actually found was very interesting. So guys, I live in California, and honestly, when I first moved out here, I was like, where are all the Black queer people at? Where are my brothers and sisters? And I always wonder, like, I feel like there's not that many that live out here. Next fun fact proves my point, because I used to live on the East Coast. So basically, where the 1.2 million Black LGBTQ Americans live, 51% lives in the South, 20% lives in the Northeast. So this is like New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, all those states. 18% lives in the Midwest, where I'm from. And then 11% lives in the West. So this is like California, Nevada, Arizona, all of those states. Which to me is not shocking, guys. Like when I moved out here, I was like, where are all my Black brothers and queer brothers and sisters at? And honestly, in the gay community, you don't see a lot of us out here. There definitely is a representation, but definitely cannot hold a candle to the South or the Northeast. When I lived in New York, I saw Black queer people all the time, everywhere. And then even though partying in DC, I always saw Black folk in the queer community. So definitely bring some color to my actual experience. And also just to give you guys some insight, if you guys are looking to move to the South, there definitely is a huge queer community there. You just have to deal with a lot more of the bigotry in the South. But if you're looking to move to the Northeast or the Midwest, there definitely is a decent population of Black queer LGBTQ individuals. And, you know, if you want to move to the West, it'll be a little bit more of a difficulty, but, you know, you definitely will be able to find a tribe out here with our 11%. Okay, so moving right along. Can you believe that Black LGBTQ people are disproportionately younger than the straight Black non-LGBTQ community? According to the study, 57% of LGBTQ adults are under the age of 35, compared to only 35% for non-Black LGBTQ adults. So definitely skews a lot younger in the LGBTQ realm. Yet again, I think this is a consequence of us not being able to be as open in our community to self-identify. I think a lot of older Black LGBTQ Americans are not going to self-identify. They grew up in an era where that was not allowed. So I definitely think that's why we see this disproportion in the younger LGBTQ Black adults, because I just think that we're in an age now where younger Black LGBTQ people feel like they can speak up and self-identify. Also, I definitely think the HIV/AIDS epidemic back in the 80s, 90s, when it was huge and people were dying and it was just a very, very big epidemic, that obviously has affected the number of older Black LGBTQ adults. Okay, so moving right along. So when it comes to social life characteristics, 92% of Black LGBTQ people live in urban areas, which is no surprise. We live in cities, or and most Black Americans live in urban areas. 90% of Black people in general live in urban areas. So that's no surprise. But 24% of Black LGBTQ people live alone, compared to only 21% of non-Black LGBTQ people. So about a quarter of us are living alone, which that's just interesting. I mean, I think definitely because we're living in big cities, we move away from our families so that we can live our lifestyle more comfortable and easier. So I definitely think that's why it's more likely for us to live alone. Also, it's more likely for Black non-LGBTQ people or straight individuals to be in partnerships or domestic relationships or marriages. So then they have a partner, where we unfortunately are more likely to be single. So then that also brings me to my next fact. So moving to my next fact is that 73% of Black LGBTQ identified people in America are not partners, so they're single. So about 12% of Black LGBTQ adults are married, and about 15% are in domestic partnerships. But the balance of that is us single people, y'all. It's us single girls. It's us single girls, okay? All right, so on to the next fact, moving right along. So now to switch gears, these facts are not as upbeat and a little concerning. So I definitely want to approach these a little bit more with tender love and care, but definitely want to offer this insight to you guys as well. So the first thing I want to call out is that over half of Black LGBTQ adults are living in lower income situations. So pretty much under the poverty line, or they're living in a situation where they're just in a lower income environment. So this is around anyone making less than $24,000 a year. So this is just really concerning, because this is a big chunk of us, that's more than half of us, are living in low income situations that are Black LGBTQ. But this comes to no surprise, because we are consistently discriminated against in the workplace, we're discriminated against in our communities, we're discriminated against in so many different facets, that I'm not surprised that we have a more difficult time of either finding lucrative job opportunities and lucrative work. But this is something that I definitely really think that we need to do a better job of assisting and helping and making sure that our brothers and sisters can find great income to eliminate discrimination in the workplace, so that we as Black LGBTQ individuals can feel that we can live our dreams and live our truths and actually have, a comfortable lifestyle living in America. It's such a shame that, we have to deal with so many things, being double and triple minorities, being Black, being LGBTQ, and having to deal with so much discrimination, that it's just upsetting that it affects our income and how we move through our life. And I just really hope that this sheds light that we have so much work we need to do to help build up our community and help make sure that this discrimination ends, or it minimizes to where we can make as much money as our straight non-LGBTQ counterparts. Another fact that's really concerning to me is that we are more likely to be diagnosed with depression than our non-LGBTQ Black counterparts. So this really concerns me. It's not shocking, unfortunately, because we have to come out to our families. We usually, a lot of times we are not accepted. Sometimes we are thrown on the streets, or even if we are accepted, there's still this awkward phase where we have to get our family to get used to it and understand it. So I know this all causes levels of depression, but the fact of the matter is that 24% of Black LGBTQ adults are likely to be depressed versus only 15% of non-Black LGBTQ Americans. So that's a big discrepancy, guys. So we as Black LGBTQ are way more depressed and going through way much more stress than our non-LGBTQ counterparts. And I'm not trying to take away from our non-LGBTQ counterparts, but that level of depression, basically 1 in 4 of us are depressed. That just really concerns me with suicide, with mental health issues. And we want to make sure we shed light on that so we can get each other help so that we can make sure our community is safe and that we are growing and being our best selves when it comes to our mental health. Unfortunately, this leads me to my next fact, which is that 41% of Black LGBTQ report family relationship stress. So 41% of us are dealing with some type of stress that is caused by our family. And 49% reported that their relationship with a parent is strained. So we are going through it with our family, guys. We as Black LGBTQ are going through it with our families. And that's why I feel like we as a community, we have to come together. We have to be more of a community together because we always don't have our families. And even if we have a relationship with our family, it's strained or it's difficult. So I really just think that we as a community need to come together. We need to find more ways to get involved. And this is for me as well. I used to be super volunteer when I lived in New York. And ever since I lived in LA, I've taken a step back. But this is something that I'm using to spark me back up so that I can get back involved in our community to assist LGBTQ that are Black, of color, that are a lower income. We definitely have to help our brothers and sisters out, guys. That should be our main focus, is helping out our queer brothers and sisters if we can. Okay, guys, so one big one that I really want to shed light on is the fact that 24% of Black LGBTQ adults have never had an HIV test. Guys, this is super important to know your status. This is a huge epidemic still to this day, and it highly affects Black LGBTQ Americans. And it also highly affects Black women. So I just really think it's super important that we, trans, gay, lesbian, bisexual, whatever we are, that we are making sure that we are getting HIV tests. That's a quarter of our community, guys, that has never had an HIV test. A more positive statistic, but one that still needs a lot of work within this fact, is that 56% of Black LGBTQ people do regularly get an HIV test every year. So over half of us are doing the due diligence to go get an HIV test every year, which is amazing. But at the end of the day, guys, we should all be getting tested for HIV. We should all be getting tested for STIs, and we should really be monitoring our sexual health. That is so key. Our sexual health is so key. And if you get tested, knowing your status is the best way to stay safe and to stay alive and to continue to be able to live your best life. So guys, I just want to end with the fact that I think there's so much more work that we have to do as a Black LGBTQ community. There's a lot of concerns with our community as far as our mental health, our economic health, and our overall well-being. And I think that if we all come together and choose to be more of a community, we can help solve a lot of these issues. I also think we all should get involved and make sure that we are getting involved in our community. So if you guys live in the LA or New York area, I'm actually going to drop some links in the description of some ways to get involved in your local areas if you want to help out when it comes to the LGBTQ community. Also, I want to say, please make sure, like I said yet again, please make sure, guys, that you are getting tested and that you are putting your sexual health at the top of your priority list. Guys, we can have fun, we can have a good time, but there's no reason why we shouldn't be getting tested for HIV and for STIs and taking control of our sexual health. So guys, with all that being said, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you guys found it insightful, enriching. Hope you guys learned something new today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also make sure to comment. Like I said, I always love hearing your comments, guys. I love discussing with you guys in the comments. Like I said, it's like talking to friends. So please be sure to comment. Let me know your thoughts on these facts and what you guys think are some of the concerns are when it comes to the Black LGBT community. And always, do your best to stay safe, stay positive, and I will see you guys on the next video.